Hey everyone. So, 2SKO releases in 19 hours. When you're watching this, probably way less. I'm extremely excited, and I thought, what better way to give you guys some content while we're all waiting by looking through the move list for every single champion and going through every mechanic they have in the game. So you guys can get started right away. You can jump around to the character you want. I'll also be talking about some teams for every character and some, strategies you can use and all that stuff. We're not just talking about the moves, obviously. We'll give some predictions on what people will want. Like, if you play a Sonar, you'll want Jinx and so on. So let's just start off first with the roster real quick, and then we'll do the basic controls, the fuses, then we'll go character by character. So we have Ahri, who's quick mobile spellcaster, rushes down opponents, very mobile in the air. Braum, big slow grappler, is most known for his shield that absorbs hit. Darius, he's like a mid-range big body, or not a big body. Recently got added with a fireball. Got Ekko, he rewinds time, he has a mix-ups, good air movement, rolls cross-ups, all that stuff. Speeds their character. Illaoi, also another heavy body, or big body. Uses tentacles, and then you play off the tentacles. You can activate the tentacles. Jinx is the Sonar. Has a lot of almost like Venom type mechanics where you put out a thing and then you can interact with it by hitting it or shooting it again and so on. Vi is what I think is going to be the most popular character, just straight up brawler. No, ground focused, has a sway mechanic, hits super hard, very easy to pick up. He's like a more defensive version of Johnny from Guilty Gear Strive is what I would call him. But yeah, basically mid-range swordsman, has a ton of stance cancels and stuff like that. Technical character with a lot of combo variety. So before we jump into characters, let's just quickly talk about the games, moveset. There's super jump, forward dash, backward dash, run, chain dash. So chain dash is, you can also wave dash. These are just the way to move. We'll talk more about if each character is fast and whatnot once we go into the characters. Offense. You have light, medium, heavy. You have down heavy for obviously you have crouching heavy and crouching medium and crouching light too. You have specials on S1 and S2 plus directions. You have throws, which is medium heavy in this game. So it's pretty weird if you're coming from Street Fighter, but I think people get used to it. You can also air throw people. Critical strike is just charge heavy. Charge heavies are unique in that you can partial charge them, which change the properties of some moves. And then full charge kind of guard breaks. It's not like Strive guard break where you still have throw invincibility, but it disables defensive mechanics like retreating guard and push block. And air cross up. Every character has a move in the air that's meant for as a cross up, but they are unique, so some look different than others. Some are not actually a good cross up move, all that stuff. Just 2H in the air. You have taunts. Unique thing about the taunt is that at round start you can hold directions, and they actually do the taunt before the match starts. You have retreating guard, which is a very powerful mechanic. It's basically like a push block. I would call it defensive, a modified version of push block, where instead of pushing the opponent away whenever someone touches your block, you're retreating. So it pushes you. It basically gets worse when you're in the corner, and you can hit it with lows. But outside of that, it functions basically as a push block. A unique thing about retreating guard is that if you do it a bunch, you also get more meters. So if someone's just doing true block strings, just trying to wait for their assist to come back or something like that, you can actually slam retreating guard a bunch of times and get a bunch of meter. Parry is light plus heavy, or you can bind into a button, which I recommend. Medium standing parry scales a little bit. Low parry is unscaled. Projectiles don't freeze the opponent when you parry. Very big to know. But if you hit a physical attack with parry or low parry, they go completely frozen. You get a big time for combo. Worth noting though, low parry only parries moves that are actually low. It does not parry moves that are mids. So it's not as strong as some other parries in other games. when someone is just doing that. You can also bait a parry by waiting it out and pressing a button. In Street Fighter, you can't punish a parry with a button. You can only punish them with throws. In this game, you can punish them by just waiting out the parry window. Get up attack is holding S1 or S2 while getting up when knocked down. You can also hold a direction. As you see here, quick rise. The only time you can't do this, the only time you can't quick rise is when from throws, which they recently added. You have forward, back, and up air recovery. There's no down tick in Dragon Ball. You don't have to hold a button either, it seems like. I think you can hold down up to not air recover as quickly, but like so that if someone's doing a reset, you can like avoid it. But if you hold that direction, normally you'll air recover as soon as possible. You do not need to hold like light or medium. So throw attack is medium and heavy too, of course. We have tag launcher. So the tag button got a little bit of redesign. But basically we just go through them one by one. Tag launcher is when you tag from your main character to the second character. You can do this in combos and generally a good way to extend them. So it's down and tag. Quick tag is whenever your teammate is on screen, from calling an assist, from bursting, you can just active tag to them. This is like what's known as active tag. Very, very powerful mechanic that has a lot of freedom. Very commonly, you're using this by calling an assist, doing an action with the point character that's very slow and takes up a lot of time, like a fireball that travels across the screen. Then you tag, and with the character you're now on, the previous character's fireball is now coming across the screen, and you can utilize that. Charge assist no longer exists outside of sidekick fuse. This is a thing that everyone could do before, but they took it out because it was too degenerate. Assists are neutral now or pressing back, the two different assists. Worth noting that down back and back both call back assist, and down forward and forward call assist. I believe, I could be wrong on this, the down forward does not tag launch. You have to hit straight down. Oh, wait, I was wrong. Handshake tag is the active tag. Quick tag is raw tag. You just hold down the button when they're off screen and you can tag. You could previously also only do this when you have assist ready though. Super assist. So super assist is down plus tag when one assist KO'd, it costs 1 meter. Push assist is just push blocking, like pushes both characters or anyone away from you, whoever made last made contact. Has a longer cooldown now and only pushes away the character that actually hit you last when you press the push block, but very strong. Also, for a brief period after push blocking, you block both high and lows. Break and Fury Break is tag plus S1 or S2, and this is done with your teammate if you're playing in a duo. Do you think it's good to move forward only with a dash macro? Yeah, dash macro is the main thing. Controller guide, we're going to go through this more in another video. I'm going to make a controller guide for all different controllers. There's auto combos you can turn on. You know, you can very easily do it, but I would suggest that you try doing non-auto combos too, but you can have them on and still do regular combos. So if you're brand new, don't feel bad for using auto combos in the beginning. It's fine. I'm not going to go through the tag mechanics too much. I think those are easier to do just through the tutorial. Kind of hard to just talk about. So the fuses. These are things that you select before the match to figure out how you want to modify your team, essentially. The biggest standouts is Juggernaut, where you don't play a 2v2, you play only as one character, which gets a bit more powers. You can snap your opponent out, which is like exchanging which character is on point. You force them to tag into the other character. And you also get more Fury cancels, I believe, and you get a bunch more meter. Sidekick is another essentially solo where you can call your assist, which you can't with Juggernaut. However, you can't tag to them. So you can't active tag to them. You can't swap them in. You also get a bit of a health boost. And this is a really fun one if you have one player who's way better than the others or you're trying to coach, because you can like tap the buttons alongside a combo and help them do more damage, I think. But yeah, both the Juggernaut and Sidekick are not meant to be equally strong. They're meant to, you know, be for fun fuses or fuses that will, you know, maybe work with one or two characters, but they won't be as strong on average as the other 3 fuses. They're meant for you to learn with one characters. They're meant for you to have fun with. They're not actually meant to be balanced around, as a clear top tier alternative. Next up, you have Double Down, which is just like being able to do a super into a super. Noted, you can also tag during a super now. So you can call an assist, do a super, and then tag to the other character, which is very powerful. You can do like Jinx beam and run in after it, stuff like that. Freestyle is handshake tag twice in one sequence. So this is the active tag. You can call an assist, tag to the other character, and then you tag back to original character again. Doing this makes the assist cooldown longer though. So you have a 6-second cooldown if you use freestyle, but it's still very good. It allows you to burst bait, allows you for more mix-ups, allows you to like improvise a lot. That's what's called freestyle. 2x assist, pretty simple. Once you call your assist and before your assist comes back, like your character leaves the screen, you can call another assist. If you do call the assist twice, then you have a 5-second cooldown instead of a 3-second cooldown. All right. And that's basically the base mechanics. There's a lot of stuff you can learn. I'm sure the tutorial will go through. I'm happy to answer any questions, but I don't want to drag too long on this. Let's go into the characters and let's break down the moves. All right, so first up we have Ahri. Ahri is the most like airborne character. Pretty fast, has very strong assists, very good for supporting other characters and doing high-lows, has her orbs, but it's no longer a resource like it was in some of the like pre-alpha lab footage. So, but she's a lot more air mobile now. She's no longer about like doing the same looping combos like she was in Alpha Lab 1. Personally, one of my favorite characters, and I'm definitely looking to pick her in a lot of teams. So, first move, Falling Spark. This is her command normal. It helps her basically hit cross-up in some situations where it's unclear. It helps her true block string for certain moves like her overhead, where you can cancel the overhead into an air dash. And in general, helps her do instant air dashes better. You have a sweep. Cannot be canceled on block. So this is minus on block, but not punishable on block generally. Very good for catching retreating guard. You can combo off this too by doing a jump and then a Foxfire, which is S1. And you press down S1 to make it actually go down. Very strong to have a sweep because it makes retreating guard significantly less brain dead because you actually have a thing to do it against. Yep, so she has an air dash both backwards and forward. It's pretty floaty at first, but if you cancel it with an attack, you start falling faster. Foxfire Blast, yeah. So this is her old Rekka, but it no longer goes into a full combo. You now only get this pickup, and then you have to spend meter or an assist to keep following up. So significantly worse, but it's very good because it was very boring, and her playstyle was basically entirely built around just doing this. Instead of, like moving in the air or anything else. So you can do another follow-up here if you know you're not going to get a combo, but if you're a little bit closer, you can do this air dive and then cancel this to S2, which is this move in the air. Oh, this one. Okay. Next up, we have Wildfires. This is basically a disjointed attack that's pretty good. It now tumbles, which will wall slump them in the corners. You can pick up for an easy combo. Also, tumbles don't have hit stun deterioration, so you can use this even when the combo is really long to link it to a super or to let your assist character tag in and follow up. Also, a pretty good block string ender. Stalking Dart, this move was changed recently. It no longer tracks in the air. It just always goes straight forward. You can use this after hitting them with a limit strike. So if you've already ground bounced them or already wall something, you do this move, Wildfires, and do it twice. Or like you do it so that you get the limit strike. You then cancel it to a Stalking Dart, and you can use this to cover get up attack. In general, this is a good move to do whenever you have time. This is a great move to do before tagging out. So you call an assist, you do this one, and then you tag to your other character, and then eventually the fireball comes with the delay. might look slow, but the delay actually helps it become better as a neutral tool in a lot of ways, because you have so much time where your opponent knows the fireball's coming and you can play around it really easily. You have the bounce. This is just overhead. It's pretty fast now, and even though it's reactable, the true strength of it is that you can actually air dash after it's blocked or hit, and she gets a little bit of a mix-up after that. You can do air dash, and then you do J2L, JM in the air, and then after that, you either go low or use this move. This is another overhead and a combo staple. You do this for a lot of your knockdowns. You can pick up with a Firefox afterwards. Foxfire, sorry. Not Firefox. Melee Brain. Very good mix-up tool, but it's minus on block. So if you see an Ahri do this and you block, then you push a button. If you're the Ahri, then you should not, be doing this and then pressing a button unless it actually hits. So you have the air version of this. This move is very good to just throw out because this actually resets your air actions. They didn't say this here, but yeah, it's very, very good because it resets your air actions. So you can do jump, air backdash, foxfire, and then air dash forward, for example. This also lets you extend combos, since you get another air dash. And the down version lets you OTG, which is very, very good because it lets you combo from a lot of hits you normally could not. Like throws, other characters' moves, then you take an Ahri, all that stuff. You have Spirit Rush. This is pretty interesting. So in the air, you can do back, down, down forward, or forward. Basically, think of it as a half circle, where if you're in the air, you can do a half circle downwards in any of these directions. If you're on the ground, you can do a half circle upwards in any of these directions. It then gets a little bit more complicated when you combine them because you start on the ground and you do an upwards one, up forward, and then from up forward, you can only go horizontal again or downwards. This is your main confirm tool. You'll generally be doing like ABC or light, medium, heavy, and then do forward Spirit Rush, and then up forward that takes you into the air. And then after that, you can do S2 or an air fireball, and then keep on comboing like that. And big thing about this now is that on whiff, these don't actually have recovery anymore. So you can use this in the air and then like just do any action afterwards. So it's pretty good to use for movement. The big problem is that if it's blocked, you're generally punishable. So if you do this and you actually make contact with your opponent, it's good to have an assist to call it so that you can actually save yourself from being punished. Yeah, this is the ground version. Oh, this is a change actually. Before, if you did this twice in a row, it would knock them down. Like they would like fly away. Interesting. Yeah, this move has a new animation too. It looks slightly different. Right, so you have Orb of Deception. This is just her regular S1 super. The big thing is that if you hold it down, it changes properties. So the normal version, not holding down, it's just the standard one. You should default to this one. It gives you a combo. It OTGs, so it can hit after some knockdowns. It's generally your go-to after you like knock them down with this move in the middle of the screen. Good super to follow up with. But if you hold it down, it's going to keep going like a boomerang, essentially. And then if you run away from it long enough, it gets this big hit that it's extra hits done and extra damage. So there's some unique combos you can do to where you use this hold super early in a combo to then continue the combo and not end it. You can also use this a little bit in neutral, but don't use it too much or your opponent can jump over it and punish you. But yeah, you can actually use this a bit in neutral and then kind of, as you're running around, direct where the fireball's going to go. Pretty good super. In general, also gets better with what's called double down, where you can use this as a follow-up to another character. a lot of time you can do like a command grab super, or you can do a throw into super, and then you can do Ahri's hold one, and then you can continue the combo after that starter. This is Hyper Spirit Rush. It's basically a very basic super. You can steer this one, and it also works in the air. Very good super, in my opinion, because it pulls them all the way to the corner and does good damage. But you can't use this from every situation. So generally, you have to end your combo slightly earlier than this one. But as you can see, this one, they're all the way over here. Whereas if you do this move, it pushes them all the way to the corner, and then you can have Oki out here. So you have Charm. This is her level 3 now. Very cool super animation. You can also do this in the air now. Generally, as with all level 3s, it's invincible. You can use this as a reversal, but it's very expensive. Next up, you have maybe the most iconic part of Ahri, which is actually her assist. This assist is basically like Vegeta assist or Cold Star from Amaterasu, Marvel 3. Very strong assist, has a lot of hit stun. And, you know, just a very, very strong assist. Has a very good angle too. It's harder to hit Ahri because she's in the air. And because she's in the air, you can also tag her and then air dash right away, letting you follow up for mix-ups more. Incredibly strong assist. Okay, Hyper Spirit Rush assist. This is the super assist, so it costs 1 meter. You can only do it when Ahri's dead. Pretty good, especially if you play a mix-up character, because this lets you carry them very far, has a lot of hit stun, and also on block, it lets you do a mix-up. Moving on, the great Steam Golem Blitzcrank. So Blitzcrank is the newest character, so we don't know that much about him. I'd recommend watching the dev diary if you want more thorough explanations. But basically, big grappler that's not actually that slow and has not only command grabs, but also a steam mechanic that powers up their, command grabs and different follow-up moves. Pretty interesting character. I'm definitely looking to play this mostly for actually the restands. So this character seems to enable a lot of different mix-ups, and I love mix. So this is just prod. This is like 3L. Helps you catch retreating guard a little bit better. I don't think the regular 2L is going to be low, or even if it is, it's not going to be reached as far. This is running age. There's some run moves in this game, if you didn't know. Basically, you have to press dash first. You should have to run a tiny bit before you can do it. Just OTGs, good for following up for certain moves. That's really its only use, but it's very, very good to have an OTG move. So we have 4H or back H. This is another anti-air. He has 2 anti-airs. Or sorry, they have 2 anti-airs. Blitz is now non-binary, I think. Air Purifier. This is a funny ass name. So this is part of Blitz's main mechanic, which is the rocket grabs. This one grabs from the air. Big thing in this one is that it restands, so you can mix them up right away. Even if they've been in the combo, they don't get knocked down, they can't roll. And then you can also follow up. I don't think this move is going to be restanding that much solo. It doesn't seem like it's like plus enough, but we'll have to see about this, because right here it does seem minus, right? But I think you can call assists and stuff like that to make it actually more plus. You have this follow-up, which is waste disposal, that ground bounces and lets you combo, but it switches sides. Here's the ground version. Worth noting that these are plus on block right now. +4, I believe. Very, very strong. You can parry them, but Blitz can also fake it by charging. So very, very scary, even just on block. And there's also an air version that goes horizontal. Yeah, very, very good. And even faster and more damaging when you have Steam on. Steam charge, you hold down S1. This is also how you fake it. Worth noting is that the Steam bars drain over time, so you can actually wait it out. This is the follow-up to it. I think you will have to call an assist or something to follow from this. Maybe you can super with Blitz. But yeah, you're not going to get a full combo from just regular rocket grab. So at least there's that. Maybe you can choose to not do the follow-up in order to go for a mix-up instead. Rocket Punch is just a big punch that has the follow-up with the grab. I don't think the grab combos normally. But if you have Steam, it does combo. Worth noting is that this destroys special level projectiles, so which means it doesn't beat supers that are projectiles, but it beats everything else. Spinning Turbine, this is just like a spin move. I think that can then transition into your command grab. This is you start and use this part, and then you press down S2, which is the command grab, if you want to do a car command grab. Very, very strong, obviously defining. You can also apparently do Kara level 3. I didn't know that. It's pretty broke. I learned something new. But yeah, this is also a great move to use when you're tagging out. So you do this move, you start the spin, and then you tag to your other character so that while this is hitting, you can do a mix-up. Yeah, this command grab. Doesn't seem like you get like too much Oki mid-screen, but this seems like incredible Oki in the corner. And when you have Steam, you become armored while you start this move. I think you can also hold down this move and Blitz keeps running, but they didn't actually show that here. Oh, they show it here. Yeah. This charges a lot of steam. If it's not in a combo with a bar of steam, Blitzcrank gains 1 hit of armor during startup. Yeah. You can charge it too. And you can also do it in the air, which seems really scary. This Wrecking Ball is another great move to tag out during. You can hold this, and then you can cancel at any time. Both, when it's swinging back, like you can cancel here, or when it's going in the front. Yeah, Blitz animations are sick as fuck. All right, then we have the supers. This is the OTG super. It hits on the ground, and also, like, if they're not on the ground. Actually, ground bounces them on hit, so you have pretty good Oki from this. And fully charges steam. So this is a great super to do if you're, like, starting out with a character, you have full combo, you do super, then you do this super, and you can... keep Oki and then chase them with the armored command grab. Then you have static field. If you hold down S2, then you do a charge version that does more damage. You see it here. Then you have the ultimate or level 3, which is a trash compactor. It's a command grab, and it's actually frame 0 after block. Sorry, after flash. So if you're too close when this happens, you can't jump. It's too late. So very good to use even as an offensive level 3, which is rare in this game. Generally, level 3s are used mostly as combo tools or reversals for most characters. But for Blitz, it's all of them. Reversal, command grab, and combo tool. The rocket grab assist, this only hits people on the ground. Pretty noteworthy because most assists that cover the horizontal space like this, well, if you're slightly above the air, you won't just dodge it. This is the more noteworthy one though. This one hits the air. It's a very good angle for catching jumps, which is hard in this game. And this is the one you're going to use in the combo since you generally have them in the air. And this one restands, so which means they're standing again, which means that you can stop the combo here and go for a mix-up. This is probably character defining, and the reason why I and many others are finally interested in playing our first grappler as a main. Then you have the super assist, static field. This seems really strong. It just covers a ton of the screen. Has multiple hits, easy to pick up from, probably good to mix on block with. Yeah, Blitz is looking very scary, but we'll see. We haven't actually gotten to try this character. So it remains to see even if they are broken, they'll probably be nerfed. Next up, we have Braum. Braum is another grappler, but he's more focused on being very slow and shielding rather than actually grabbing. Then powering up with Unbreakable, where he gets armor on a lot of his moves, and his command grabs causes a crumple, leading to a full combo. So not super unlike Blitz, but pretty different in practice because of just how slow Braum is and how core the shield is to his kit. The shield is an incredibly good move, probably the best move in the game, just generically. So his tools are tuned around that. So starting off with the command normals, is just the overhead got buffed a little bit recently. He has a 5H, 5H that ground bounces opponents, leaving for pickups. This is good when you get a far confirm and you can't really get anything else. I think it's good for late-in combos too when you need the ground bounce to keep comboing. You have a sweep. This is an incredibly good sweep. Goes super far, and it's absolutely key in allowing Braum to keep opponents from retreating guarding, so he can stay close despite the fact that he's slow, and then he can threaten command grab. This is a 2HH follow-up, so another way to, mostly a combo tool just to pop people up better from when you hit 2H. You can also do this from the ground. You don't need to start the combo with an anti-air 2H to do this. 6H is another combo follow-up. You can also charge this so that it's guard crush, I believe. Not exactly sure on when you want to use 2H versus 6H, stuff like that. That's something you're gonna have to ask Braum players for, or you just come into chat, and I'm sure we'll have figured it out once the game launches. I believe that you generally want to do 6H when 2H. This move won't reach on a ground combo, so you do this move first to pop them up instead. And this is just a follow-up to 6H. You can't do it if you fully charge 6H. So this is the passive. When hitting an opponent, Glacier Breaker, Iceborne Smash, and Heart of the Frail Yord can all activate Unbreakable. While in Unbreakable, Braum gains 1 hit of armor on his shield normals and improved special moves. Braum loses Unbreakable when knocked down, thrown, or after using certain special moves. Yeah, so either basically spending it on a special move or getting knocked down or thrown. Worth noting, though, is that this actually stays and affects his assists as well. So you can activate Unbreakable, then tag him out and have a powered up assist to keep using. And then they actually have to hit the assist in order to make it go away. This S1, this is a short range concussive blast to staggers opponents. So basically just like a good special move to follow up on block with. Can use those combos. And in the corner, this slumps them. In Unbreakable, actually shoots a projectile that moves very slowly, so you can run behind it, and it freezes opponents. And this uses up your Unbreakable. This is like a Lariat. You can charge this one, so it goes further. Very good move. Definitely core. The charge S2. This one also beats projectiles. I don't know if the regular one does. I don't believe it does, but yeah, the charge version is like super core to his kit. It's safe if you space it. So if your opponent's spamming this a lot, you can actually punish it, unless he has an assist afterwards, by dashing in all the way and blocking it close and then hitting them with a fast attack or a throw. You can also parry it on reaction if you know it's coming, but it's really hard. So I'd recommend just trying to stay out of this range for the most part, starting out against Braum. This is the follow-up to the uncharged version, and this activates Unbreakable. So easiest way to get Unbreakable, you often do this at the end of your combos, and then when you have Unbreakable, instead you ride all the way to the corner and you pop them up for a follow-up. And this consumes Unbreakable. So this is forward S1, and you can hold this one, and it tosses it overhead. This is a follow-up. Worth noting is that this one OTGs as well. So you can do his sweep, which is the 2-step, this one, and then after that you toss a Poro. I believe it's uncharged version. And then that one pops them up and lets you combo. then you have the Braum. This is basically like a dive kick. Just deals a bit more damage in Unbreakable. I don't think it, yeah, it doesn't consume it. Good way to alter his air movement to get around, like, you know, people anti-airing him. And generally a good combo move. Like if it's late in a combo and you need to bring them to the ground, this is the way to do it. Down S1. This is the signature command grab. This gives you Unbreakable if you didn't have it, and then ends the combo. I believe you can super, though. But if you're an Unbreakable, the attack freezes the opponents and consumes Unbreakable. So then you get like an actual good combo from it, and you don't have to spend super. Very, very strong. Doesn't have doesn't have armor like Blitz's, but still very good. You can also use this in scrambles a lot of the time. It's very good range, more than you might think. And generally is one of Braum's like best like scramble options. Down S2 is Shattering Spires. It basically is a projectile. You can only do this when you have Unbreakable. It also knocks them back towards you. So it's very good for comboing. I believe this hits low too. So this is another way he has to stop people from doing retreating guard. And it's plus on block, I believe. This is the signature move. This is hold back S2. You enter the defensive stance. You have infinite armor as long as they hold it. The second they let go, it loses armor. But this is incredibly broken because this lets you hold this and then call assist. A very easy way, if you're starting out with this game, you want to have some fun in duos, is that one person plays Braum and then the other guy calls assist as he holds the shield. When the assist hits, you either drop the shield with Braum and you hit them, or you tag to the other character and that person continues the combo. Oh, this is when you don't... This is this move, Shattering Spires, but when you don't have Unbreakable. Yeah, this is an overhead, I believe, and gets Unbreakable on hit or on block. So this is the only move that actually gets Unbreakable on block, I believe. So if you know your opponent's going to be blocking for a long time, you can use this move to just get Unbreakable and get out. This is S2 in the air only. This is massive air move, and it's really good because, as you can see, he kind of stops his jump arc here when he does it. Hard to convert from without an assist outside of the corner, but in the corner it slumps them, and it's also a really good thing to do after tag launching because it's wall slumps them. Very core to Braum's moveset. Best way to like jump and do something is generally to do this, and then when you think a regular jump in attack will be enough, then you go for the regular jump ins because the regular jump ins give a full combo even without an assist. Glacial Fissure. He does a massive jump and then cover the entire screen with this. This is safe unless they parry a lot of the time. So very good to just throw out when you think your opponent's going to be jumping. I think this one does not give Unbreakable. I think you have to do this one. Yeah. So this is the other one as the S2 super, and this one activates Unbreakable. If Unbreakable is already active, it consumes Unbreakable and deals more damage. Worth noting too is that this one combos OTG, so it's a good follow-up when you need to get them off the ground. Okay, snacks time. Pretty big range, invincible attack that just deals a lot of damage. All right, now for his assist. This standard lariat pops them up. Well in Unbreakable, it wall bounces the opponent. Very, very, very good assist. Very good. Because of this, it's very good to play Braum with double assist because not only can you shield and then call 2 assists, but you can also use double wall balancing assist, which is incredibly strong. This is the other one. It has 1 point of armor normally, not infinite like when he's on point. And then when you're Unbreakable, it covers 2 hits. Then there's Glacial Fissure, which is a super assist, and well, it performs the super. Covers the entire screen. Incredibly broken, but it costs 1 meter, remember. And that's Braum. Braum generally works best with someone with a good assist. You know, not a character for everyone, but the people that love him, love him. All right, next up is Darius. Darius is a big body of sorts. Some people call him the Shota, some people call him the big body. I think he's kind of tuning into like a mid-range big body, you know, not necessarily the slowest character, kind of more like, you know, a Leo type almost, where it's like in between a big body and not. But a pretty standard character, very easy to pick up, very accessible, definitely going to be one of the most popular characters. Great character to get started with. It has a lot of strong options. So first up, we have Cut Down, which is an overhead. You can only cancel this to supers. Otherwise, you need an assist to call. You have Cleave, which is a combo move generally. It can be used as an anti-air, but I don't believe it's actually invul anymore. But it's a very good follow-up for certain combo strings. He has his sweep. Can't be canceled on block. This goes super fucking far. You can also follow this up into a full combo if you use this move after forward S2. So very, very strong. Next up, we have the specials. So Decimate is a follow-up move, basically a Rekka that has a couple follow-ups. First is S2, S2. If you hit them with the tap, it puts Bleed on. Bleed is Darius's mechanic, unique mechanic, which makes you take damage even when even on chip, even on any attack that Darius does, and his teammate. They all do chip damage, which is very strong. In some situations, you will just die to chip, and you can die to chip in this game. It's not like other games where they don't let you lose your last life on chip. So very strong mechanics, and some of his combo routes, you know, intentionally get worse Oki or less damage to instead put Bleed on. In the corner as well, there's wall slumps, so you can get a good combo. Mid screen, you're going to need to assist or super to follow up. Then you have this move, Thin Their Ranks, which is another follow-up. This one knocks them down. You can also use super to confirm from this. A little bit easier in general to follow up after, especially if you know OTG assist. And it's a good move because of how many hits it has here to use on block while also calling an assist or tagging out to another character. Coward's Bane, this is kind of like Air Purifier. It's an anti-air move. Very good. These moves are super strong in this game because being in the air is so good. Slams them down, causing a ground mouse. Also a great combo move. Apprehend. Now, this is maybe his most unique moves. Pulls the opponent in and prevents escape. So, this one has a bunch of follow-ups, and the grounded version locks out all defensive mechanics. So you can't push block, you can't retreating guard, all that stuff. And the air version also hits OTG. So there's some certain combos, like after air throw, you can do this move and then do a jumping medium and then continue following up. Very, very good, and it's also his assist. So after the apprehend, he has 3 follow-ups. Wait, yeah, 3 follow-ups. So it's overhead that lets him combo after. This is actually the move you want to do if you know the apprehend hit. So you actually do overhead, and then you can do dash up into a full combo. This is minus, I believe, punishable on block even, so it's worth blocking. You have Sunder, which is a follow-up that bleeds. So this is another one to do in the middle of combos. So if you apprehend later in the combo, you generally do Sunder. If you hit them on the ground, you generally do Skull Crack, which is the overhead. Then you have the command grab. This is great on block. This slams them down behind him. So you can also use this for some side swap combos. Or you can use the super, which side swaps them back again, which puts them right to the side where they originally were. In general, when defending against Darius, if you block apprehend, you want to block high first because he doesn't have a low fall from this. If he wants to mix you from this, he has to do apprehend and then let the apprehend end and then do a 2L. He can delay the overhead enough to where the overhead and the low hits the same frame. But if they do that, then you can jump or mash So it's a bit of an RPS here. He kind of has to earn the mix-up. But yeah, very important to remember in the beginning against Darius that the overhead is coming, generally. And there is no low option until they learn how to do that. This is the new move, Salted Earth. Fireball, it goes actually pretty far, and it also OTGs, I believe. So you can use this for some certain follow-ups. Need to see more about this move, but it seems pretty useful, especially because it's pretty slow. Yes, that's also worth noting, yeah. Apprehend is parryable on reaction, as is this move, the follow-up. So worth keeping in mind if you're trying to do some Darius counterplay. This is S2 in the air. This is kind of like a dive kick. It has a big hitbox, but does force them on the ground. So you need to use super or one of his OTG follow-ups to combo. Generally, you only get super from this follow-up unless you have an assist, though. This is the follow-up. Oh, yeah. So this is another... this is forward in S2 instead of neutral S2. Where he goes this. You can actually combo after this without doing a follow-up. So you do ABC, forward S2, and then you do standing medium here to follow up. But you can also cancel it to any of the follow-ups as decimate. So this one and this one. So very good to know. You see the follow-up there. Then the most iconic Darius move, maybe the DP. This is no longer you can no longer hold down back and do this. It's now down forward because this fireball is holding down back or down to nerf it a little bit. And you can cancel this one to super as well. Very strong. Every defensive mechanic in this game goes a long way. And you can even use this to on reaction punish some moves. Not great as an anti-air though in general, so try to use 2H for anti-airs. So supers. This is the OTG super. Crosses them up. Has pretty good Oki after as well. But yeah, it does, cross them up. So don't do this if you want to keep the corner. You have Noxian Might. This is just a big full screen slash. You can actually use this to on reaction hit some things and start up. Great with double down because you can do this and then tag. Destroys projectiles. And puts bleed on the opponent. This is generally the super you want to do after hitting someone with a DP, for example. But it does have the limitation of not hitting OTG. So you can't do this one after, say, a throw mid-screen. This is a reversal. Basically just another reversal you can do that does a lot of damage. I believe this one does hit OTG. Worth noting, though, that this one is fully invincible, whereas this one's only armored. So this one loses the throws and doing like a fast 2L, 2L. So that's why you want to sometimes use the S1, S2 super. So you have Apprehend Assist. This also prevents escape. Very strong. Lets every character set up really crazy situations on block. And then you have the shoulder tackle that wall bounces. Incredibly strong assist. Because it's a layer like anything else, but it also wall bounces. I believe. It might be changed. I think I saw a footage of that, but yeah, it should still wall bounce. And then you have his super. This one's incredible too. It covers the entire screen, and it puts bleed opponent, so even when your Darius is dead, he can still carry you. Darius is good with everyone, basically. He's good in all fuses too. He's kind of like you can pick him with anything. I guess he's probably slightly worse with like a Sonar like Jinx. But overall, you can pick him with anyone, and he's a great first character to pick because he works with anyone. So if you start with Darius and you find out that you like Ekko, you like Yasuo, you like Blitzcrank, like he can work with everyone. Next up, we have the boy who shattered time, Ekko. Ekko's my favorite character personally, and I would love to be able to play him, but obviously he has to be good for this, but I'm hopeful. Very speedster, has a lot of times to be tricky, can use his clones that he sets up to teleport. The most unique thing about Ekko and what makes him so interesting is that during anything, he can go travel back to his clone. So even in the startup of moves, you can go back to your clone, which means he can do an overhead, cancel the startup of an overhead as soon as your opponent stands up to react to it, and then go low. He can do left, rights, all that stuff. Very, very fun character. Very freeform. Short range, low health, generally low damage, and struggles a bit to convert from hits. But when you get going, you get it going. Starting off, his overhead. One of the best overheads in the game. It's airborne, so it will jump over some lows, jump over throws, and it actually combos if it's counter hit. This is the move you start using too when you want to cancel, like you want to fake it going high. If you have a clone out, you can use this move and then cancel the ending recovery. Despite, you know, it's not normally cancelable. You can't do other specials, but you can cancel to the clone teleport. So that's the way you follow up, you know, your overhead. Keep in mind, though, it's actually... the clone follow-ups are unsafe in generally, like the clone follow-up you need to do. So you don't want to do this as much when you have a regular roll or a clone setup. You want to do this mainly when you have charged clone setup, which is harder to get generally. You have heal tap. This is just another, you know, longer range command normal. Not super useful for him, but it is actually +1, I believe. So, you know, good to use, but generally just use sometimes because it's regular 2L whiffs, but you can't do multiple 2Ls with it. He has an air hop. It's only forward, so he can't move backwards. Pretty big deal, but still very good to use. You can kind of like box jump with it. Doesn't make for mix-ups quite as easily as Ahri's air dash because you can't like very low to the like jump, then very low to the ground, do a hop and have it be unreactable. But he can still set up some mix, and he can also set up some cross-up mix by doing instant air dash and then doing the G2H when you're close to your opponent and stuff like that. This is a weird move. We don't really know the use of it. It hasn't been useful before. I believe it's special cancelable now, but this is generally going to be a niche move. It's just pressing H while running. We'll have to see how we actually end up using this move. So first off, of his specials, we have forward S1. Forward S1, it's just a triple hit strike. It passes through the opponent before the final hit. So it side swaps for combos, but importantly too, it sandwiches the opponent. So you can do this and then call an assist, and then you will have them sandwiched. However, if your opponent has parry available, then they can parry this last hit. And so you need to call an assist to plug the gap or to tag to another character while this move is going on, and then go low if you want to be parry spammers. Worth noting is that this is a good combo ender too. It's also a good move to throw out just before tagging because it goes across the screen. It covers a lot of space. But you can't use this on block without if you don't have super because it's very unsafe on block. You have Time Wander. This is just a regular fireball. You can also use it in the air. Another really cool thing about Ekko is that he can bat it with his Time Wander. So all normals that uses bat can hit the fireball. And then additionally, once the fireball has been out for a while, he gives a special hit. It's big slowdown. And you want to hit this slowdown hit during combos. So there's some really cool combos where you throw the fireball early and then later hit them into it. Or you set up the fireball and then you hit them into the opponent. Stuff like that. Very, very fun mechanic. And even his assist has the slowdown version. So this is another Time Wander toss. This is down Time Wander toss. This is the best one if you just want to hit it. It's also a good move to do on Oki. And it can kind of protect you a little bit in neutral since they can't like jump at you horizontally. So it's a preemptive anti-air that eventually as it comes down, it starts becoming better to cover the ground. You have Chrono Strike. This is the basic slice he has. It sets up an after image. And the general rule with Ekko is if you have a uncharged clone, which is by tapping this move, right? You see this tap one. You have worse follow-ups, slower follow-ups, and worse follow-ups than if you have the charged clone. Because the charged clone is hard to get up. The charged clone, let's start with this one. Let's start with fully explain this move. So the charge clone crosses them up on hit, and you can combo, use this to end combos, knocks them down, and so on. So first off, let's go through the charge clone options. So if you press down when you have a charge clone, you do Chrono Break. This wall bounces them, and it ground bounces them if you do this from the air. And remember, you can also use this in the air, right? You can even charge it in the air as well. This one. This is commonly referred to as Hellbreaker, so because Dante had a move and Virgil had a move that was called Helmbreaker. So if someone refers to Helmbreaker, this is the move they're talking about. Leaves an air clone, and the air follow-up hits overhead as well. I guess we'll go through that later, but yeah. And then you have Chrono Switch. This is the most iconic one. This is only available with a charge clone, and you just teleport back, and then you can do any action. So this is what you do when you do a charge clone. You start the overhead, you go low, you can cross them up and then teleport back, and then hit them on the other side. It's a very fun move. Probably his most freeform move as well. And then we have the follow-ups that aren't charge clone. So if you don't have a charge clone, pressing neutral and S2 to teleport back to it just does a slice. This is the slice you want to do to confirm of the overhead, like this one. And when you want to frame trap your opponent, but it's unsafe on block. However, this one hits OTG, so sometimes you will hit them and you will have a clone nearby and they're on the ground, and this is what you can do. Times up is a follow-up kick. I believe this video is wrong. Yeah, this video is wrong. Interesting. He does a follow-up kick. The kick can be held backwards, and then you will move backwards and space differently. This is a good way to pull out when you're not trying to, like, do something risky that's unsafe on block, like this one. This follow-up. But it's way slower, so it won't combo from as many things. Like, you can't combo from overhead with this one. And in general, the kick can also be mashed before. So if you do an S1 on block, they can do a mash. So you have to kind of mix up between which one you want to use. Okay, and this is the actual, this is just roll. I don't know why, yeah, they fucked up his move list, but yeah, this is roll, crosses up. So it's an uncharged clone if you don't charge it, obviously. Very, very good move to do on Oki when you have time. Generally from a normal knockdown, you'll have time to do the uncharged version. And then during better knockdowns like 5H charge or an assist call, you have time to do the charge roll. All right, now on to supers. Mega Time Wander, this is your follow-up super generally, and your damage dealing super. It's interesting because you can, even though this is super, you can still teleport back to a clone during it. And you can hit this as well with the heavies. Standard combo with this is you do S1 to confirm, then you do S2, the replay, you go back here, and generally here you can't follow up unless you're very close in the corner or mid screen. So if you're a little bit further away, then you do this move to follow up, and then you hit the bat, and then you can combo from there. So it's a very important way. Ekko needs to spend more meter than most to get his combos, but it has some benefits. This is Tangled Timeline. This is basically like an after image spam super where all the time he will create a clone for where he was a second ago, right? You can see here, and you can then teleport to it at any point. So this is a very, very good super, but obviously it doesn't do a lot of damage. It just enables him, but it also drains faster if you teleport a lot versus just letting go. But it's a very, very strong super. You can use this on Oki. You can use this in neutral. Very, very fun. This is his level 3. This is actually not invincible to throw, so you can actually throw this. But yeah, It's a combo move. It keeps the corner now. Before it used to side switch, but now it no longer side switches. But yeah, if you parry something with it, this happens. Where it looks like Ekko got hit, and he did, but then he runs time, and then this time, nah. Assists. So for the assists, you have Time Winder. It's just a projectile. It can also hit with the slowdown one, but it has to be out for a while, so you have to space and time your combos for that. And then for forward assist, it's just a dashing strike. Notably, this keeps them grounded and is very fast. So it has some benefits over an assist like Darius, which is a little bit slower, but instead wall bounces. And for the super one, you have Mega Time Winder. This is probably the worst, one of the worst super assists. Just doesn't really do that much. Kind of hard to follow up from. A little bit more block stun, I guess. A little bit more hit stun, but nothing crazy. All right, next up we have Illaoi. Illaoi is another big body. Kind of more of like the Gold Lewis archetype rather than the Potemkin archetype if you play Guilty Gear. Kind of like Marissa if you play Street Fighter. You know, sets up tentacles that you can then use to follow up with. Also, the tentacles also let her combo off her grab and also lets your teammate combos from grab. So it's a really powerful thing. Pretty simple, but has some unique setup stuff. And in general, one of the less common characters. So this is a good pick if you want to be a little bit unique. Maybe knowledge check some opponents that don't know, you know, what you're going to be doing. First off, no unique moves. Interesting. I didn't think about that, but yeah, I guess she just has less moves than everyone else, I guess. So, first off, forward S1. This is just Rekka. It destroys projectiles. And on hit, the nearest tentacle can perform an attack. I believe this move got slightly nerfed, but it's still incredibly strong. It hits super, super far. And the Rekka follow-up here too. Perfectly time this alongside a tentacle follow-up to crumple the Illai's opponent. So yeah, you can time this perfectly and you will get a special follow-up that crumples them. You can also cancel this to Tentacle Smash, which is the default one when you don't have a tentacle set up. And this one knocks them down. Motion. This Prayer of Motion. Why is she the only one with voice lines, actually? Yeah, so this activates the nearest tentacle when it's already set up. You tap for a fast hit and you charge to drag the opponents into it. S2, this is also an assist. This is a fast lariat. And on hit, not on block, but on hit, it summons a tentacle. Down S1 is a long diagonal strike. If a tentacle is available, it will reposition for a ground bounce. This is generally just a combo move. So when you have a tentacle, you want to use this one to get your ground bounce. So this is down back S1 instead of back S1. And this one command grabs them. Yeah, you have to jump this one. I think the... Oh yeah, this is the one. Yeah, there we go. Tentacle Smash. So this is just a long range attack. Very disjointed. Good to do in mid range, but it's pretty laggy. On hit, I believe it sets a tentacle, if I'm not wrong. Maybe I am. But if a tentacle is already out, then it combos. And you can cancel this one. So yeah. You can cancel this one to this follow-up. And that's part of our BNB. Next up, we have Serpent's Tongue. This is a 2-hit strike in the air. It's not super useful, honestly. You don't really use this one for neutral that much. But with the tentacle, then it leads to a follow-up. So it's a little bit of an air stall. But I didn't really see people use this one too much in neutral, mostly in combos. This is forward S2 and it charges. The charge version goes further and it sets up a tentacle on hit. Just in general, good overhead, but like You kind of need the super to follow up from it, unless you have tentacle. So not the strongest overhead, but it's still there, and it's a good combo tool. You often end in it to set up a tentacle. You have S2 in the air. This is a dive kick, and it can cross up to. Very good air move, but it is unsafe on block, and you need a super to combo off or a tentacle. So definitely use this more when you already have a tentacle. This is from the depths. Down S2. This hits close normally, and it's a low, so it's really good to stop retreating guard. And then on hit, it keeps the tentacle out. Basically, it's almost a new tentacle. But when charged, this one tracks, so you can actually use this full screen. So this is actually a new thing. She did not used to be able to do this. Next up, we have supers. Her S1 super is hits OTG, and generally a good combo super. And you can hold S1 to reposition an available tentacle under the opponent. So you can set up a command grab mix-up or just keep Oki. And her S2 super is very unique. It summons 2 massive tentacles, and they will automatically attack. But it's cancelled if Illaoi takes damage. On completion, 1 tentacle returns to normal size and remains available. Oh, I didn't know that, actually. Cool. Yeah, and all tentacles grow. So if you summon another one, then you have 3 big tentacles. Very, very good super when you have your opponent in the corner. You have level 3. Invincible startup, mid-range strike. Oh, and you can hold S1 or S2 to reposition an available tentacle. But yeah, it doesn't spawn a tentacle by itself. Now to assist. This is a Rekka. Very, very good because on hit it summons a tentacle. Doesn't do the follow-up on block, but still very good. Just very fast, comes out. And next one is back assist, which is the tentacle smash. On hit, the nearest tentacle performs a follow-up attack. So Illaoi is a really good user of double assist because she can do this one to set up, and then you follow it up right away with this one, and the follow-up activates the tentacle and then easily lets you pick up. And then her super is just putting up the tentacles again. Very good for Oki. Kind of tricky to use a neutral. So it's a little bit of an all or nothing assist. Next up, we have Jinx. Jinx is the Sonar. She works well with most characters. And has one of the best assists in the game, which is the projectile assist. Very unique character. Kind of hard to get to mastering, but like just messing around and zoning a little bit is very fun. Definitely going to be a character that is deceptively hard, I think. A lot of people often see the Sonars as the easy characters, but because of how much interactability her kit has, how you can throw out a projectile and then interact with it and hit it and so on. Very fun character to spend a lot of time in. So first up, we have 3L, which is just a slide. Really good slide, actually. Way better than you might realize because it goes very, very far and it goes very low, so you can low profile some mids. Next up is Watch Your Feet. This move is incredible. One of the best moves in the game, actually. It's a dashing low attack that reaches very far and even hits in the air a little bit. Very, very good. And you can follow up with heavies after this. It doesn't it's cancelable and everything. Super good for catching people running away in neutral. Just gives her some burst threat for an otherwise pretty slow character. Back H, 4H, is a flip kick attack. This puts you in the air. It's very good for hitting certain projectiles because it hits them up. You can see it here. Boop. And generally lets you do puts you very low above the ground here, which you can use to cancel to the rocket midair. And then you have Watch Your Head, which is I believe 25 frame overhead or something. You can now cancel it into the OTG. Pretty good overhead, but nothing amazing. It's just good to have overheads to catch people sleeping, but it's not like a true mix-up or anything. So if your opponent's ready, don't use this too much. Okay, first of the many projectiles, we have Flame Chompers. This tosses a projectile. It hops forward, and when they get close enough, it attaches to the opponent on contact and then explodes after a little bit. You can be moved not just by Jinx's attacks and her other projectiles, but also her teammates. So when you use this as an assist, or if you tag out, you can keep hitting this with like a 2L. Very fun mechanic. Reminds me some of Braum from Faust from Guilty Gear Strive. You have back S1, which shoots a minigun in the air. You can cancel this one to S2 specials, so every special moving forward, you can cancel to them. First off, you have down forward fish hop. Later on, we'll have back hop. You can actually control this mid-air too. You don't have to like do all the way forward or all the way back. You can do neutral, and you can do like slight forward, I believe, where you press it later. Very good movement option, surprisingly. You can use this to cross people up on block. You can use this to move in neutral. You can act while you're in the air here. So yeah. Next up, we have Fishbones. Fishbones is her main like beam, basically. Forward traveling projectile and explodes on contact, and if you charge it, it goes even faster. Okay, yeah, this one just shows the normal one. Oh yeah, and in the air, she can also shoot it down. This one also OTGs, so after the overhead, you usually use this move. If you cancel it to super, air power wow, then she doesn't jump into the air. She just cancels it instantly. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, cancel it to the air version. Oh, right. This one. So the air version of this move. Okay, they don't show the air version of this move. Never mind. But yeah. You can cancel this one, and then do air version of the minigun, and then cancel that one to super generally. Fly, clappy, fly. So this is a slow move projectile, and it also is proximity based. It explodes when it gets close to the opponent. You can attack this one as well for different reactions. It puts them forward, puts them higher, puts them lower. And if you use electric attacks like the medium, then it gets this freeze effect once it does connect. And then if you press down S1 again, then it changes the course of flight. So it goes up, it goes down. Very fun to like use this with all the different effects. Then you have the charge move. This is just your general like quick projectile. Also a very good block string move. You can cancel this one to zap or to the fish bones, which is this one. So that's a general string you do. You do full minigun, and then you cancel it to fish bones. And then if you want to, you can also cancel the zap. Zap is a charge. It's a resource. It slowly charges up. And when you can't use it until you have the bar fully charged. But when it is, it freezes them like this. And this lets her convert for more ranges. And in general, powers up your projectiles. I'm going to show this one. So she has Firework Super, as they call it. This one deals more damage if it hits the sweet spot and all the hits hit. Causes an air flip though, but as they're air flipping, you can usually set up projectiles. Pretty good for different combo follow-ups. Does a lot of damage, more than most, but probably not the super you use the most outside of certain scenarios, because you have this super. Horizontal beam super, very good for sniping. Very good for sniping assist. You can aim this one up, or if you're on the ground, or if you're in the air, you can aim it down. And the ground, the one that goes downwards, also hits the ground now. Like it hits OTG. So after throw, you can throw them and then jump and then do the downwards version. And then you have the ultimate. The ultimate, like, basically hits close and then... Sorry. Then you have the ultimate. The ultimate will just bring down a massive projectile. This one also hits OTG. It's a bit faster than you might think. Like the animation makes it think like, oh, you can't use this to combo, but you can. Don't worry. You can get like one more attack after this too. So if they don't die, you can jump and do one last projectile, I believe. Then you have the assists. Her assists are very good. This one's actually changed now in a patch note. So it's actually the kick version now. It's this one. So it covers a little bit less air space, but still very good. And again, your teammates can hit this. And it has quite the bit of hit stun once it actually does connect. Then you have the Fishbone assist. This is one of the best assists in the game. Covers a ton of screen and it travels very slowly. So you can run in after this one. To be noted too, assists don't disappear when the point characters hit. So if you run alongside this rocket and then you fire another one with double assist, then the second one will combo break. So Jinx is amazing with double assist. You can also use this to shoot one of the Fishbones and then another one of the Flame Chompers. Very, very strong. Then you have tons of Fishbones assist. This is just a super. It's pretty good. I wouldn't say it's like amazing or anything, but it has a bit more block stun and covers the air a bit more than the regular Fishbones version. Yeah, Jinx is very good with everyone. I would say generally you can play any fuse with her, except maybe Juggernaut. I don't know how good she is solo, but she's very good with double down. She's very good with double assist. You can definitely use her with freestyle too, like keep swinging back and forth or toss projectiles and then run in after them. Gonna take a while though, because she does play quite differently from everyone else who wants to either stay mid-range or get in. All right, we got Vi. Vi is a character who is very, very easy to pick up. Has some really cool execution with electrics and so on. Super fast ground movement. No air movement though. And not that many air specials either, but an amazing assist in her back assist and Captain Corridor, basically, which OTGs. So she fixes a lot of issues, and she's super easy to pick up, very fun. She's probably the most popular character right now. And yeah, let's go through the moves. She has 3 different auto combos. So it's light. This one's really good because it's actually 3 hits, right? 3 hits, and they all have really good range. Her jab is ridiculous, right? And then after the 3 jabs, you can still do 2L and then 2M. So having delayed lows in this game is really good because you can stop retreating guard. You can stop, push block to a certain degree. And in general, it also hits people trying to, like fuzzy jump, all that stuff. Medium. This is mostly combo filler. I haven't seen this used too much in previous footage, but it's just, a combo move for the most part. This one is can be used as a frame trap, but it's mainly combo thing. It pops them up, so you can do for some combo routes. You can do this one into S1, not this one, this one, to get an air combo pickup. 6H is just an overhead. You must be blocked standing. I don't think it actually jumps over throws, or I've had it lose the throws, but it's still very good. You can combo into it after with doing her S2 OTG, which is this move. Nope, not this move. Down S2. She has a counter like this. I believe it's like frame 3 invul, and you get a super follow-up. Very strong to have these in this game because in general, it's just very slow to do anything but like jump. So having another option they have to play around is very good on defense, even though it's not a real DP. She has this move, footwork. This move is broken. It gives her a ton of different options out of it. If you do, so let me describe how it works first. She can do sway forward or backwards, right? And it goes through projectiles. Incredibly broken already. Now, there's more. From this, she can do different follow-ups. Light, which they then can charge. When you charge any special, light, medium, or heavy, you can special cancel it afterwards. If you do light into medium, you can also do that. Like you can do light and then chain it to a medium afterwards. So not only can you delay the button, but you can also do light, wait, medium, and then if the medium is charged, you can special cancel that, go back to the light, and so on. Incredibly hard to get her off you because the main way of defending long block strings in this game is just a retreating guard, but she can, because of sway, always follow you. If she does double S1, she crosses up and can hit you with assist or mix you up if you're just sleeping and then hit the button. Very, very good and goes like incredibly far too. You can't really see the difference between this one and her same side either. Then she has her H, which is both used for combos and used as an overhead. She doesn't have a real low, so you're not going to hit people with this as a mix-up that often, outside of every now and then. Mainly, you do this because it jumps in the air. So if they think you're going to go for a throw, and they throw tech, then this one jumps over and kills them for it, basically. That said, you might think, oh, well, I have to, do slide and then throw. It's going to be a big gap. No, she can throw out of this. And this is incredibly, incredibly strong. You can basically not react wherever she is. She can just pull up and throw. And this throw also gets a full combo if you have an assist. Or you can do solo. You can do her OTG that we showed earlier into super. This is not a command grab, despite maybe looking like one, since it's not, a traditional throw. You can tech this one. But because she can, go back and forward after you see her sway, and because she can do the jump one, you can't really throw tech this safely without dying. Then she has Vault Breaker. This is a standard lariat. Becomes plus if you charge it, and if you fully charge it, then it guard breaks, which means you can't do defensive mechanics if you block it. Not the best move, honestly. I think this is a bit of a noob trap to do this move too much. But it is also good because you can do it in the air, and she doesn't have that much air movement. You have this one, Denting Blows. This is a combo tool and a block string ender, especially when you want to tag out. You can do this move. Very, very good for combos, though, because it wall bounces at any hit stun. So you can do this at the very, very end of combos. And you can also mash it to throw even more punches. And this is actually something that applies even in if you tag out. So you can start this move, tag to another character, and then keep mashing S2, and it will keep going. You have Creator Maker. This is the OTG. That's also her assist. It's invincible versus air attacks, and it goes very high up. So very strong move. But you don't always use this one for anti. You also use her 2H jabs and dashing under people when they jump. She has this one in the air too, and this is really good for crossing up. You jump towards them here, and depending on if you do a heavy or if you do this move, you land on either side. She also has a J2H, which you might have seen in the trailer, which is kind of like she pushes down with air. That works as a double jump with some recovery on it. That also can hit cross up. And if you do hit them cross up, it leads to a full combo. She has this move, Hyper Creator Maker, which is just a mashable super. If you mash S2 here, you actually do more damage. So keep that in mind. His OTG, notably, it also keeps Oki in the corner because they always have to tech out on the ground, even no matter how high up you get it. So if you have double down, you can still do this. Very, very good. You will hear this super a lot, and you will be very tired of this super if you play against Vi a lot. This is basically her bionic arm. I don't know if it's frame 1 invul. I think it's frame 3. But once the flash happens, it's invul. And it does a bunch of damage, beats projectiles, very good with DHC. But, you can't use this as an actual reversal, so don't do it too much. You have Cease and Desist, which is level 3. Very controversial because she hits nothing. This animation will probably be changed sooner than later. Just, basic level 3. Notably, always forces you to the corner, kind of like Marissa. And then her assist, her lariat, it's a little bit slower than the average lariat actually, and it doesn't wall bounce or anything. So she actually has more of her power in this, in this move. This one is incredibly strong. Side note, it also counts as a projectile when she hits the ground, which is actually good because if you parry it, you don't blast off both characters, which happen with physical assists when you parry them. But it can, I guess, lose to projectiles, I think. Projectile involved moves. But that's probably needs more testing, actually. Then she has this one, fastball. This one's so strong. It wall bounces. It like stays out forever. Like it's active even when it's here. And you can't really stop it. You know, it helps for some combos, but obviously this is super assist. You can only do it when she's fully when Vi is dead. But yeah, Vi works with literally everyone. I don't think any character is bad with Vi. I think she's kind of made as this like standard character that everyone can get into. Unlike Jinx, who's, you know, a Sonar, everyone can just pick up Vi, fits on any team. So big recommend if you're looking for a first character to pick up. Okay, now we did this. All right, so for the last character for now, Yasuo. Yasuo is a mid-range beast, pretty agile. It doesn't have the fastest like regular movement speed, but very fast once you start using stance cancels. Has a lot of different follow-ups. Very execution heavy if you want to push combos to the limit. But you can get pretty far by just using a couple of staples. Very good all-rounder, great character. But just like in League, a very selfish character. Has arguably the worst assist in the game. And not really a character that every character loves to team with. But Yasuo himself uses basically every assist well. So you can still pair him with most characters. All right, so only unique attack is a sweep. You use this one to call out retreating guard. And his close-up pressure is very good. So you will have to rely on this one because people will be spamming retreating guard. First off, you have Steel Tempest. This is just like standard stab move, pretty good for space control. You can use this one for wind wall. And if you stab through the wind wall, it creates a long follow-up. This is a very good go-to strategy, is to put up the wind wall, and depending on what you want to do, you either use the projectile, which creates a tornado that occupies space, or you use the Steel Tempest and pierce them full screen. You can't follow up from this one outside of super or calling an assist, so not the easiest one to follow up on, but very good for space control nonetheless. Especially because you can do this while also putting up wind wall, which if you didn't know, wind wall stops enemy projectiles. So down S1 is calm. This is Yasuo's stance. He has a lot of different stances. To begin with, he can dash forward in the stance, which cancels the stance. He can dash backwards from the stance. Every single thing that I will go on from now on, all the other follow-ups, you can do after dashing. So you can dash a little bit and then stomp. The stomp is a low attack. It's plus on block. It hits OTG. And generally, like a thing you do a decent amount of block strings. But its biggest use is to hit off the ground after throws, after combos, and you use this one to combo into S1 super as well. S1 is another dash, but this one, unlike the other one, has a big like brush stroke here, and this one can actually cross up the opponent. Even in the corner, this will cross up. Next up, you have heavy. This is a long range slash. This one tumbles, so near the corner, this gives you a full combo. Mid screen is kind of hard to pick up from unless you use an assist or super. Down age is the same strike, but it's instead the air, right? So this is your anti-air. It's a really good preemptive anti-air. It also wall bounces, so you use this a lot for combos. And you actually have a lot of time for this one because they hit the ground and you can dash up and you can do the stomp to follow up. This is a close anti-air, the medium one. This is also one of your best combo tools. You can jump cancel this one as well. You can actually jump cancel all of these moves. You can jump cancel the medium and the light both. But you generally do this one the most. You do medium and then you follow up and either you reset them and try to go for an air throw or hit them in the air, or you keep on comboing them. Updraft is a hop. Very, very good. You can do high-low mix-ups from this one. Combined with his J2H, which is a big spin attack that stalls him a little bit in the air. He also has very good high-low mix-ups if you actually let him use this hop. But obviously, he has a little bit of a startup here, and he has to be in stance. So it's not the easiest to let your opponent... you have to make your opponent sit still for a moment before you can start using hop if you want to use it in a block string or call an assist. However, I will say this is also very good in neutral because you do get this very low hop, and then you can use this projectiles or a jumping medium. Covers a lot of horizontal space. And then finally, you just have exit calm, which just leaves the stance. It's good to fake. You often enter stance and you threaten this big move. So your opponent starts running on the ground, and then you can just exit it. Call an assist. Dash away, You also, worth noting, have the same thing like Johnny does with misfighting cancels, where if you do a 5-edge on block and you don't do anything, you might be -9. But if you do stance and then unstance, then you're actually slightly less minus. And you also look like you're going to do one of the follow-ups like the hop or the stomp. So you're also faking out your opponent. So he has some good reset pressure with going into buttons and then doing restand. Entering the stance and then exiting the stance right away. Stance cancel, as it's called. So Turbulent Wind, this one can be held to be 2 different spaces. Very strong projectile, but it's pretty hard to follow up after. You generally have to super early. No pun intended. Also very good in the air. But you have to use it pretty low for it to hit the ground. So just be aware that if you use it in the air, they can run under you. So call an assist or make sure they're not on the ground if you don't want to be attacked from that angle. And obviously the opposite goes. If you use the ground version, then they can jump on you. Wind Wall we already went through. So yes, Ford S1, which is a Rekka. If you hold this down for this one, it becomes like an Alpha Blade type move, or a Rapid Slash, where it crosses up and hits much later. You can follow this up by entering stance and then pressing stomp. That's generally your best follow-up. And then from there, you can go into stance M and so on. Before, the charge version used to hard knockdown, so you could just dash up. But now you have to actually cancel a little bit faster. Which is a good change because it's a little bit harder to confirm now. So part of the uncharged Rekka again. This one is just a double strike. And then you have the third strike, which passes through the opponent, which is really, really good on block because you can do Rekka 1, Rekka 2, call assist, and Rekka 3. And now you have them on both sides, and you can do really disgusting sandwich pressure. Where you have your opponent in between, and you can tag between your different characters, and in general, just do a lot of scary mix-ups. The Rekka also has an S2 follow-up, which jumps into the air. This is one of your best combo follow-ups. If you get a really far hit, you generally want it to do Rekka 1, uncharge again, and then Rekka 2. From this one, you can cancel it to air specials, but only on hits. So this is something you want to do when you hit them, and then you generally do charge S1 in the air, or you do S2, which is the air special. Worth noting too is he can actually stance cancel the first hit of this only, not the second hit or the third hit. And if you do all three, there is a gap here. You can't mash on it, but you can parry. So you can use this as a mix-up by stopping at 2 instead of doing 3. But then your opponent can then punish you if they know you're not doing the third one. Next up, we have Gale Blade. This is a combo move, but also a move you actually use a bit in neutral. It's very, very laggy on block, but if you use an assist, then you can follow it up. It also normally goes into another one. You can do 2 of these on hit only. And after that, you can do S2. This is your general combo ender. You do 2 slices, S1, S1, and then S2 to knock them down. You can keep it to you only doing 1, and as you see, you will cross up here, right? But if you use 2, then you stay on the same side. Secondly, you can also charge the S1 move. Only the first one. You can't do this after you've canceled it. And this will cross up. You can also stance cancel this when you hit the ground. So you can do that to like dash away so you don't get punished. But yeah, a lot of different stuff here. His combo routes are something you're honestly going to have to watch a different video for. But a lot of different cancels, and he's a character that takes a while. Let's go through his supers. So S1 super is a quick dashing forward. It's projectile involves. You can do this on reaction to some projectiles. On hit, you do the follow-up automatically. On block, he just dashes, and then you block him, and you can easily punish him. There's no follow-up. This one crosses up. So keep in mind that sometimes you want to route differently if you end up hitting this one. And yeah, as you see, it's projectile invul. The S2 super is OTG. And you can hold S2 to spend 2 more bars and then cancel into your level 3. Before this level 3s only cost level 2, but now you can do this for only level 3. So it's technically cheaper than using level 3, but it doesn't actually do that much more damage. But there's some situations where you can only hit with the S2 super, so it's very good that you can combo them. Noted that you can OTG with this one. You can't OTG with this super, but you can do it if you do a stomp first and then cancel the super. However, if the combo is long enough, this no longer combos, so you don't want to do S1 super in every combo, and obviously sometimes you would rather keep the corner. And the level 3 is a Rising Slash that's invincible. Not really good as an anti-air unless you have a super hard read. Yeah, you can use this as a follow-up from the S2 super. And now the assist. This assist is pretty slow. It doesn't hit until after Yasuo's already gone through them. But it does have the benefit of crossing them up even on block. So it's actually one of the best super assists to use with freestyle, because you cross them up and then you can tag to Yasuo and then run sandwich pressure. And then you have Wind Wall. Wind Wall is an assist. It's a very like polarizing assist, because in some matchups this will do a lot, and this will help certain characters like Ahri set up or Jinx set up, but it doesn't do anything at all for some other characters like maybe Illaoi, when Illaoi is not actually fighting a projectile character. So this is one of the reasons why building Yasuo teams can not necessarily be hard for him, but hard for his other teammate. And if possible, you want to have a character that doesn't mind Wind Wall being one of your assists. But this Wind Wall also makes him very good as a counterpick to any Sonar. And as we probably get more Sonars eventually, it's going to keep staying relevant. And then his super assist is the S1 super. He dashes through them and it strikes them only once, and it staggers them. Does a lot of damage as well. And I believe that's it. Again, if you didn't know, please tune into the subathon. And stay tuned for more 2SQL content. I'm sorry there wasn't like in-game demonstrations. Again, the game isn't out yet as of recording, but I think this should give you a good starting point. And then, if you guys like this type of educational content, I'll keep on rolling with more guides, more content. So yeah, let me know. Like, subscribe, all that shit. Thank you.